You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
With me right now is, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Tristan Gilbert.
Tristan Gilbert from the North Alabama DSA. He's out here. You know, DSA is a very labor-friendly organization. We appreciate them coming out. And so I'm going to be talking to him about what they are, what they're up to here in North Alabama with the DSA. If you're watching the live stream and you want to come out, food is going to be ready in about an hour and a half. We're going to have some smoked chicken. We are going to have some hamburgers. We're going to have some hot dogs, potato salad, chips. Going to have drinks. Going to have beer. Just good stuff. So come out if you're listening and you want to hang out. You want to meet some union folks. You want to meet folks from DSA. Come on out and say hi to us. But so Tristan, you're with the North Alabama DSA. How long have you been in the DSA?
I joined the DSA about a year and a half ago, got my card, started paying my dues. But earlier this year, around June or July, we were contacted by a regional organizer to actually set up a North Alabama chapter here. So we've been going actively for about half the year.
Very cool. And so what, before we kind of start talking about your branches or your chapters, goals and what y'all are working on, just you personally, what brought you to the DSA? And for those of you that don't know, DSA is Democratic Socialists of America. So yeah, what was it about the DSA that attracted you?
Really, it was as I started to get towards graduating college and paying attention to politics in the world, I started to recognize the outsized effect that the wealthy had on our politics and how the democratic process was really poisoned by that. So when Bernie started campaigning in 2016, some of what he said resonated with me, and I started doing my research and realizing what the history of socialism in America and the rest of the world really was, as opposed to what we'd always been taught. And I got an interest in labor politics from there. So this is where I decided to plug in and try to help make a change.
Are you local North Alabama?
I've been in the Huntsville area for about 11 years. I'm originally from a small rural town in Tennessee. My dad was a coal miner, and so I grew up in the mountain areas there of Appalachia. Okay,
so but definitely a Southerner, that's for sure, and been here, I'd say that 11 years is long enough to say that you're local. So, my personal politics have always been very sympathetic to kind of radicalism, and, you could definitely say that I'm sympathetic to socialism, stuff like that, but I've never kind of bit the bullet, so to speak, and said that I'm a socialist, because some of the more kind of the end goal type stuff, it's just and I guess this kind of goes into the Mark Fisher book, Capitalist Realism. It's difficult for me to imagine a legitimate end to an end to a capitalist system. But, for the purposes of Alabama, I may as well just say I'm a socialist, because I believe that we should have universal health care. I believe that we should have free college. I believe that working in, I believe that every worker should have a union. I don't believe that you should be allowed to employ people without them having collective bargaining. I think that is exploitation. I believe that we should have incentives for worker cooperatives. I believe that we should have very, very open borders. So is in the American political spectrum, I may as well call myself a socialist. But so tell us what your branch is is working towards here on the local level. What even does a chapter of the DSA do?
Well, DSA chapters adapt themselves to whatever is happening locally, so it's really up to the members. In the most immediate sense, one of our goals is achieving full chapter status. Right now, we are still an organizing committee trying to get the membership and the momentum going forward to specialize out our labor and our projects to affect the change we want to see. So if you're interested in joining us, you can look us up on Twitter and find us there. We'd appreciate your membership, or at least your opinions to chime in. Long term, our goals are going to be based on an internal democratic process. So we're going to decide together what is going to be most effective given the conditions that we see here in the Huntsville area right now. We are going to be coordinating with our immediate neighbor chapters in Birmingham and Southern Tennessee, and some of the projects that we have agreed to have a lot of interest in so far have included having something like a free store to help people get supplies that they need, especially during this time of pandemic and economic hardship. We've talked about helping to bring people's interest towards worker co-ops. We're all very sympathetic to co-op projects, and we want as many young workers, older workers, union workers, non-union workers, people who want to be in a union, people who want some sort of bargaining power. We want to hear from everybody and figure out together what our priorities should be, because it's all about local action.
Yeah, and I think that's, being a kind of militant unionist, I believe that democracy is a very good thing, and I believe that having roots in your community can kind of help guide you. Like if you come at, obviously DSA has national objectives, national campaigns that chapters cooperate on, and there's but that is one of the things that I like about what DSA does, is it allows its local chapters to be pretty autonomous in their generally what they work on and what they focus on, and I think that's really valuable. And one of the things, and I know that the Birmingham DSA has a free store. I know that they do brake light clinics, which I think are great. Talk to us, and the brake light clinic is a national program. Talk to us about that. What is a brake light clinic? Brake light clinic.
So I can only tell you what I've heard from the Birmingham folks and the other chapters in Alabama. We haven't done one ourselves yet. But a brake light clinic is a free public event. Chapters may do it once or twice a month, where they get the supplies and a few people with the knowledge to come by. And if you see a DSA brake light clinic and you have a brake light out on your car, you can come in for free, and the DSA will replace them for you. And we do this because broken brake lights are often a pretense that the police use to pull over people and then trump up other charges on them. So we want to help even the playing field and remove that excuse for otherwise inexcusable police behavior.
Yeah, that's, like you said, that is one of the, like, broken brake lights are a very common pretense to pull people over, and so taking away that pretense is very important and very valuable for poor and working people, I believe. So I think that the DSA does really good work, especially in that aspect. Have you got any local races that y'all are looking at, backing a candidate in the primary or running an independent candidate right at this point?
Well, we are just a few minutes now after the end of the presidential election, so we haven't had any time to look at local races that are going on. During the mayoral race, we supported Andy Wolleson, who was the local sort of a radical candidate who was for police reform and helping underserved communities in Huntsville. Personally, I suspect that we're going to spend a lot of time maybe getting in touch with some Georgia chapters, because they're running into some very important runoff elections here in the coming months. So we'll probably be working with them, and otherwise keeping our ears to the ground about other races in the area. If you have one you'd like us to look at, you can email us at dsanorthalabama@gmail.com.
Okay. All right, Tristan, thanks so much for talking to me. Have you got any kind of like a closing message for people that are interested in the DSA? Maybe they're like, I don't know if I'm a socialist. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Like, where can I find more information? And then another pitch for people that are like, okay, why should I join?
Well, I find it really refreshing to have a guaranteed place to meet with other leftists. You know, being here in the South, being here in Alabama, anytime you go out in public, you're sort of hiding your political self, especially from your bosses and from your peers who may be very conservative or traditionalist. And meeting people through DSA, even though we've only known each other a short time, we've had this instant rapport, and it definitely feels like a sense of community. So if you're feeling lonely in your beliefs, if you feel like you're the only one around who thinks this way, trust me, you're not. You will find solidarity and community and other people who want to help change the world for the better if you join DSA. And that's what it's been for me, and we're trying to keep that momentum rolling with our journey to chapter status. So again, if you want to get in touch with us, you can email us at dsanorthalabama@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter if that's quicker for you. And we're planning on having a general interest meeting on November 21st at 4 p.m. So you get in touch with us before that, you'll be able to get on that call and hear what we had to say, and we'll hear what you had to say, and hopefully be able to work together.
Okay. All right, Tristan, thanks so much.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week and get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments throughout the week. And we also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So you can see if we're on your listening platform of choice. You can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. And if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, then consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report.